Welcome to Continuous Testing Live. We're broadcasting live here from the offices of CA Technologies. My name is Eric O'Dell, and I'm the Director of Solutions Marketing for Continuous Testing. And during this video, we're going to show how continuous testing makes your apps rock. I have Margaret Lee. She's the Senior Vice President of Product Management for Continuous Delivery. And I wanted to ask you, we've talking a lot about continuous testing and how it makes your apps rock. We're going to be talking about this all day today. And I wanted to ask you first off, what does that really mean to you?
Good morning, Eric. I love that term. So makes apps rock. To me, that means ability to build applications that has great user experience, a very high quality, that is a joy for user to use. Right? Using those applications, it's like listening to music, listening to a favorite song. Right, that's to me what makes apps rock.
Okay, so companies want to transform to Agile. Why, and what does that mean?
Right, so the terminology of Agile DevOps is very popular. Many companies want to go to that route. Fundamentally, it's because of business agility and velocity, and also staying ahead of competition. Across many industries, whether it's retail, telco, financial services, manufacturing, there's just an emergence of disruption and competition, right? Every other existing company are thinking about innovation. So how do you deliver innovation? Applications is the vehicle through which your customers and your employees sort of experience your value and their daily work. There's a popular phrase called apps or software is eating the world. Right? And today, there's the application economy. What does that actually mean? That means that the ability to build, test, release, and operate software is a core capability, is a lifeblood of companies in all industries. Okay? So transformation. Transformation by definition means change. It means thinking about things differently. It means think about the outline, the shape of your applications differently. Think about how you organize your teams differently. Think about the tool set you make available to build and test and release your applications differently. So all in all, it is very critical that to be able to do this well, for companies to have a competitive, sustained advantage.
Okay, so for our viewers, what are the top challenges in this? Can you elaborate on that?
Right. I mentioned earlier, this is not an easy transformation, right? Going from waterfall to agile, adopting DevOps practices is difficult. And on a practical level, as soon as sort of companies start that process, they very quickly run into three issues. One is around the architecture of their portfolio of applications. Second is around process, teams, and culture, right? Third is around the tool set that the teams have. Now, what I mean by architecture, Enterprise 2000 companies very easily have hundreds, if not thousands, of applications that their employees and customers use. And they generally fall into two different buckets. The first group is what I would call mission critical. These applications have been built over the years, if not decades. Okay? They are the general ledger, customer database, inventory databases. Architecturally, they might be built in multi-tier, web server, app server database, or client server, or mainframe. And they were probably built with waterfall methodologies and released and refreshed every 12, 18, 24 months, right? They're running the company's business. The new emerging type of applications, so these are the things that have been built in the last 2 to 3 years, no more than 5. Typically are composed of microservices that are loosely integrated through API calls. They're almost always born native in public or private clouds, and they very often has a mobile form factor, as the first adoption, especially if these applications are consumer facing. But the fact is, to get the end-to-end value, to complete the entire purchase transaction, to complete the entire sort of service to customer, you need the back-end, the type 1 application where your system's record resides, to be well connected with the front end, the new type of applications. The challenge is, how do you deliver rapidly, test continuously through this value stream? Right, across this very diverse type of architecture. So that's the very first challenge companies face. Second is on processes and organizations. The obvious thing is about organization reporting lines, right? So companies are evolving from the centers of development, centers of test, and tossing the application over to operations to run into the formation of operational scrums. Right? So they're developers, testers, release managers, and operations people working together, continuously putting capabilities into the hands of employees and customers. That's the obvious reporting line. There are absolutely subtle changes that companies to make as they transform to Agile. One of them is requirements, clear definition of fine-grained requirements.
Okay.
Right? So in the world of 2-week sprints and 3 months planning horizons, you simply don't have time to sort of do this iterative back and forth of clarification of requirements. So it's very critical that any tool and process let your business owner or product owner to be on the exact page, understanding exactly what needs to be built with the development team is very, very important. Second is testing. Right? So companies typically, when they do Agile, say, oh, I'm going to adopt a requirements solution, such as CA's Agile Central or Jira, and then I'm going to put, Jenkins in or something similar to do continuous builds, right? But the subtlety is immediately they understand, oh my God, testing is a bottleneck because testing is shifting left and testing is shifting right, right? Left to the developers, right to the operations. And testing is pervasive, unit, integration, systems, performance, etc. right? And so the tool chain to how to support that end-to-end becomes the third challenge, above and beyond the Jiras and Jenkins and GitHubs, right? So the 3 challenges of architecture, process, and also tool chain. Now the good news is CA, being a software company, we've been going through this transformation. We fully understand the challenges related to all 3, and there's certainly things that we've learned and tools that we've used and also built. We'd love to share that with customers.
That's great. And Margaret, thank you very much for giving us all this insight about continuous testing. And again, this is Margaret Lee. She's the Senior Vice President of Product Management for our Continuous Delivery Business Unit. And we're going to be live here all day talking about continuous testing and a number of processes and tools that you should be considering for continuous testing. And if you want to learn more about continuous testing, I want you to go to whenshifthappens.io. That's whenshifthappens.io. And we're going to be here all day talking to you about continuous testing, and we'll see you on the flip side.